Support WrestleTalk!
Support each other. Just over 5 years ago, we were all booing Rey Mysterio coming out at the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble for the sole reason that he wasn't Daniel Bryan. A few years later, after he reminded us that he is, in fact, one of the greatest, most innovative wrestlers of all time, wrestling for Lucha Underground, New Japan, numerous indies, and even featuring in the main event of the AEW Prologue pay-per-view All In, we all went crazy for him returning to WWE, coming out at number 27 in the 2018 Rumble. And in the latest reason to think Rey is awesome, here's a photo he posted to his Instagram over the weekend, encouraging people to wear a different kind of lucha mask with Titus O'Neil, where he's still selling his kayfabe eye injury in his storyline feud with Seth Rollins. Well, that or he's winking at me. But while Rey might be selling made-up eye injuries, he sure isn't selling the very real-life situation of his WWE contract having run out. F4W Online is reporting that Mysterio is currently working for WWE without a contract, as the deal he signed back in September 2018 has expired. This confirms WrestlingNews.co's report back in April, which said Rey's 2-year deal had an 18-month opt-out, which he still hadn't agreed on terms to. And it was also claimed that Rey's eye injury angle with Rollins was a way of WWE hedging their bets. He could be written off TV entirely if he chose not to re-sign, or they could work it into a program with Seth if he stayed. While Mysterio was expected to re-sign with WWE in those April reports, as he wants his son Dominic to train at the Performance Center, there was heavy speculation he could still defect to All Elite Wrestling, where he has very close ties. Similar to Matt Hardy, at 45 years old, Rey's next wrestling contract will likely be one of his last, so he could decide to spend his final chapter developing his son in WWE or helping build the growing AEW. Rey currently wrestling without a contract is rather unprecedented, even in unprecedented times. WWE has aggressively re-signed all their major stars to multi-year deals to prevent them from going to the competition, like Randy Orton infamously teasing an AEW move to get more money. Mysterio not legally bound to the company is a very precarious position for WWE, as being without a contract technically means Rey could turn up for another promotion immediately, as his non-compete clause would have expired along with his deal. What do you want to see Rey Mysterio do next? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to people from out of Lucha, doing lucha things. At least for the immediate term, Meltzer adds WWE is planning to make Seth Rollins versus Mysterio an eye for an eye match at July 19th's Extreme Rules, where the only way to win is to take out your opponent's eye. I could make an eye pun here, but I don't want to get any cornier. I've gone far enough. Speaking of Extreme Rules, WWE have changed the name of that pay-per-view yet again. Thanks for your support on Patreon. No one names their kid this anymore, Larry, and the 5-time champ, Ryan T. Stomping grounds, taking ass and kicking names. The risk is worth the reward, Money in the Bank. The most greatest of greatest wrestling matches of all time, Backlash. Following their clunkily worded taglines for Saudi Arabia shows, WWE have seemingly decided to now make all their pay-per-view titles sound like they've been badly translated into a foreign language and then back again. I love Superpower Dare Die Team. After being changed once already from Extreme Rules: The Horror Show, since Friday, SmackDown and WWE.com suddenly started calling the pay-per-view The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Meaning we now get clunkily worded promo tweets like, "Can Sasha Banks dethrone Asuka at The Horror Show at Extreme Rules?" I don't know how to segue into the next story, so CM Punk return confirmed. Before he made his culture-changing kind of wrestling return, kind of WWE return last October, rather limply turning up on Fox's studio show WWE Backstage, CM Punk had actually been in talks with All Elite Wrestling. Well, at least AEW thought they were in talks, with Cody revealing in an interview that they had meetings with defined money offers and creative ideas pitched, but Punk claims it was only ever just a few texts with mates. Kind of like how when Megan texted me she was still in love with me at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, but then said it was just banter the next day. But you used the gif of snuggling kittens, Megan! It's nothing sacred to— Well, now Conan, a major creative force in wrestling, currently working for Impact, AAA and MLW, has revealed on his Keeping It 100 podcast that he was also in talks with AEW. I do remember when I was negotiating with AEW and they were telling me about Punk. They were telling me that he was asking for an astronomical amount of money, that they really wanted to work with him, but he was asking for too much, and that is a company that's willing to spend, so who knows what he was asking for. According to Conan, it was actually Punk who made the first approach, but AEW quickly shot down the amount of money he was asking for. Shortly before his WWE Backstage reveal, Punk said in a Reddit AMA that he would return to WWE for a very big bag, which you'd assume is full of money and not literally just a large rucksack. But Punk is now out of a job, with WWE Backstage being all but cancelled by Fox last month after the show failed to pick up a consistently large audience and the network restructured its priorities during the pandemic. In hindsight, appearing on Backstage was a strategic error, not just undermining Punk's eventual in-ring return if that ever happens, but significantly weakening his negotiating power, as his TV appearances never reached the astronomical viewing figures needed to justify that kind of spend. Instead, AEW are looking towards the future, announcing yet another young star seemingly joining their roster, Brian Pillman Jr. After appearing in the crowd on last week's Night 1, AEW have announced Pillman will be making his full AEW debut by wrestling Shawn Spears on this week's episode of Dark. Fun fact you probably didn't know: Brian Pillman Jr. is the son of Brian Pillman. He's been wrestling for MLW since 2018 and has already appeared for AEW as a participant in Double or Nothing 2019's Battle Royal. And Ray, CM Punk and Pillman Jr. aren't the only wrestlers being shuffled around the major promotions right now. There's been lots of reports and rumours that Impact Wrestling could be bringing back their Aces and Eights stable at Slammiversary in a couple of weeks, which is also likely to feature the returns or debuts of former WWE stars EC3, Heath Slater and Gallows and Anderson. Gallows was one of the original members of Aces and Eights as Doc, along with Devon Dudley, Wes Briscoe, Mr. Anderson, and way too many others. And the group's president and leader has also just come into play, as it's being reported that Bully Ray is done with Ring of Honor. According to both PW Insider and Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer, Ray's contract with ROH expired in April. What is it with wrestlers called Ray and their contracts expiring right now? And both parties agreed to the split, as ROH isn't offering new deals to anyone during the pandemic, with the exception of Danhausen. Bully Ray is now a free agent to sign wherever he wants. Kairi Sane is also reportedly done with WWE, with last week's Wrestling Observer writing the former Mae Young Classic winner is heading back to Japan to be with her husband, something WWE were aware of back in May, if not earlier. Sane's contract was set to expire this year, with Sean Ross Sapp reporting last week that WWE's plan was to make Kairi Sane a WWE ambassador in Japan, most likely to help with the creation of NXT Japan. Seemingly corroborating the reports of Sane leaving the company, WWE posted a graphic on Twitter to hype the latest Championship Monday Champion vs. Champion match of Asuka vs. Bayley tonight, with Kairi Sane and Sasha Banks in their respective corners, only to post another image later for the same match that removes Sane. Meltzer adds in his report that Sane was due to film a career-ending injury that would write her out the company, but that was changed when Nia Jax injured her for real by throwing her into the steel steps at ringside. You worked yourself into a shit shooting at her. Sane hasn't been seen on TV since, but Meltzer notes she is scheduled to be at this current set of tapings, making her removal from the match graphic all the more odd. With all the awful wrestling news and real world news out there right now, here's some nice things that have happened. Happy Baby Day. Adam Cole, who hasn't just turned 31, he's also now been NXT champion for 400 days. Cole beat Johnny Gargano for the title at NXT TakeOver 25 back on June 1st, 2019, and his challenger for the title this Wednesday, Keith Lee, posted a rather threatening "Happy birthday, champ." Something tells me he doesn't want it to be that happy. Yesterday also marked a full 365 days of the North as Impact Tag Team Champions, who beat now AEW stars Santana and Ortiz of LAX for the belts at Bash at the Brewery. They're defending the titles at Slammiversary against the super scary team of Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock. And Pete Dunne took to Twitter yesterday to announce that the British Strong Style t-shirt made to support Black Lives Matter has raised £36,000, which is over $45,000. Congratulations to Dunn and the WrestleCrate team for the money raised, and to any of you that bought a t-shirt to support a worthy cause. Let's spread some wrestling positivity. Everyone go and congratulate Adam Cole, baby, the North and British Strong Style on Twitter. And also watch Adam Blompier's latest list video of the 15 coolest wrestling masks of all time. Click the video on the right to watch that, and also check out Adam's new fantasy booking video, rebooking the WWE return of Bobby Lashley. Click the video beneath that to watch. If you like what we do here, please follow us on Twitter at WrestleTalk_TV and me at Ollie Davis. That was wrestling.